The impacts of colonization have had rippling, harmful effects on First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people across Canada. Most notably, the impacts of the Indian residential school, the 60s scoop, the apprehension policies of the child welfare state and systems to effectively remove children from our families, has resulted in that disconnect of those sacred roles and responsibilities that we've been all given as parents, as aunties, and as uncles, as grandmothers, as grandfathers. When children are no longer connected to their families, those teachings, those traditions are interrupted. That transfer of knowledge in terms of the supporting that pride and identity in our children is disrupted. When we look at some of the outcomes that we have found within this report, we can see the impacts of colonization in the health outcomes, in the educational outcomes, because we haven't been allowed to be who we are. We haven't been allowed to teach our children in the way that we have historically done. We have historically raised our children very close to our homes and our families. Within our overall health and well-being, we had our own medicines, we had our own healers that have always taken care of us. Within the current systems, it's a completely Western system that has really been imposed upon us, and those measures of success, those indicators of well-being, are not necessarily our indicators of well-being. We look at those strength-based indicators of to measure our children's wellness. Oftentimes the system looks at indicators based on deficits and measuring how close we are to death rather than how close we are to life. We look at the impacts of colonization and what the rippling effect that it has had on the disjointed family system that we find ourselves within today. And right now we're trying to repair those systems, trying to reignite and reclaim those traditional practices that have been effectively disrupted by a system that was never meant for us. But those systems are not, our traditional systems are not lost. We have people within our communities, people within our nations that have worked hard to protect those teachings and those ways of beings, and are effectively bringing those practices back, including our birthing responsibilities, including our coming of age ceremonies, including really transferring that knowledge to our young people and our children and our families to reconnect us back to who we are. And these ways have never been lost. They have survived the ongoing assault by the government of Canada to effectively remove us from our lands, territories, and waterways. But we have people within our communities that have really protected and continue to protect those knowledge systems and continue to transfer those knowledge systems to ensure the survival of our children, to ensure the survival of our nations, to ensure the survival of those who are coming after us.